Good morning, everyone. Woo, what a day I had yesterday. One can tell. Got a little sun out there. Yeah. Oh, my. I got the whole yard just about done with everything that I needed to do, and it's looking great. Yes. Uh, Boy, oh boy. Then this morning, lazy Sunday. Yesterday, a friend of mine, Nancy, boy, you did send me a good one this time. Sent me some. She says, "Hey, our son just sent us this," and I'm going, "Uh-huh," and that's all I saw. There was nothing else. And then this morning, but I didn't have time to. Okay, then this morning I went to say, what did you send me? I said, I don't see anything. So she sent it. She sent it. And I'm going, oh, okay. Well, I'll always give anybody the benefit of the doubt too. Yeah. This guy's name's Mark Driscoll. And he gave a very, okay, they call it controversial. I'm going, since when is the truth controversial? Because it doesn't fit so many people's what? Yeah, okay. And it was, how dare you? It's a great sermon. They made a big hullabaloo about a couple of little times, which were what, a minute long or something from the whole sermon, which was amazing, where he got loud and he dared. How dare you, the men? Okay? Yeah. And gosh, I listened to the whole, and they made a big old stink. Some people made a big old stink about it, right? Yeah, I'd like to know, some of them people who made a stink about it. It was about men taking proper responsibility, yes? He's a pastor, and he started right from the beginning with Adam and Eve. This man, okay, there are lots of people out there, yep, yes, okay, that have things to say when it comes to the Bible, including me. Okay, I'm doing this as a condition, all right? Yeah, yep, I try to never forget that. I'm doing a condition for the restoration of the reputation of our Heavenly Parent, number one. Yes, and for true Father. So, that's what I'm doing, right? So that's just laying a foundation, a spiritual foundation mainly for, yes, this guy, now this is the only one I've listened to, right? Yes? Okay. So I got to go and listen to some more. Maybe then I'm going to, now, very principled. Also very divine principle what he was talking about, and I bet you he doesn't know it. So does one have to always have to go and study up on what the next thing is, this and that? No, some people don't need to do that because the Holy Spirit is just there within them. That's the ones that God called, and that's the ones that really, truly answered God's call. This guy is one of them. You want to tell me there is a prophet living today? This Mark Driscoll is one. Like it or not, listen or don't. Yes? Now, what is a prophet to me? A prophet to me is one that truly listens to Heavenly Parent, to God. One that isn't letting anyone or anything in this world, on earth, stop him from telling the truth, teaching the truth, as painful as it may be to him. Oh, why am I saying to him and not as painful as it may be for people to hear it? Seriously? That would be, that must be so painful for some people to hear, or, they're going to get angry at him. And people did. Yes, especially men. Why? because it's the truth. Men are failing out there big time. Big time. And the few that are a good example as a husband and father, or just a man, are just too few. Too few. I always say, if men didn't want it, men, not women, if men didn't want it, it wouldn't exist. Well, that dude got me fired up. It's like, and it was interesting. I started Judith, and you know, I was like, oh my God, more wars, more all right, wow, no, another slaughter. Is this just all what the Old Testament is about? Here we are in Judith, it's about women. And I was a little disappointed with the beginning of Judith, and yeah, okay. And lost a little bit of my momentum in wanting to even continue on. Okay, oh, was I going to stop? No. But I had this kind of, oh gosh, it's just, and somehow, so disappointed. All right, as a woman, I'm so disappointed in men. I just am. And their inability to just do the right thing. Absolute inability to just do the right thing. Oh, and one of them, no, don't pick up weapons. Don't pick up arms. Say no. Dare to say no. I dare you as a woman, a mother, a wife, a grandmother, to say no. For the right reasons. Well, anyway. Then I heard the sermon this morning, Lazy Sunday. This was probably the first sermon of someone that someone sent me, okay, where I listened to the whole thing. All of it. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Oh, because he was talking down to men. No, he was also including the women, okay? But it was mainly a sermon for men. Yeah? But he was very, it's not like, oh, women are so holy, this and that, okay? A very balanced, very just amazing sermon. And I'm fired up again. That's what sometimes we need that. Even I do, okay? Oh, not because, oh, now I'm losing this faith. Or it's not like that. It's more the, please let me find some energy to walk through this hell that I'm reading again. Right? Yes? Which brings me to one little thing before we start reading. So anyway, I suggest to go check this amazing man out, okay? That's an amazing man to me. That's, wow. Of course I don't know him. Who knows, right? No. This dude is way too genuine. He's the way he's able to articulate, the studying that he has done, and the listening that he has done with the studying, right? When it comes to God's world, our heavenly parent, Father, God, Creator. I am not going to argue with people around. They want to describe the number one on earth and in heaven. I had to mention that as well, right? Yes, I'm very much trying to embrace Heavenly Parent, the Heavenly Parent, yes? And depending on what I talk about, it becomes God. It becomes Heavenly Father, right? Yes? Parental God, yes? Okay. Creator, artist, right? Greatest scientist ever in all eternity. Okay, just, right? Yeah. Oh, yes. You are. Yes, I am who I am. Done. Okay, so where was I when I started that? My little granddaughter. Let's get back to that. uh, we have this Razor scooter, and my daughter bought it for $20 at a yard sale. Took it home. They have to charge for it. It didn't work. Okay, well, $20, $20. And I was like, I'm never going to do that again. So it's been down there, and it's charged. It is charged. It just won't. When you turn the little thing, it's not going. So they would still play with it downstairs a little, and here comes I hear my granddaughter going into my room. I'm just about to go up, and she says to her brother, "Don't tell Grozy, but guess what? The scooter is working." And I said, "Hey, I'm right here. I can hear you." And she comes. She says, "Grozy, the scooter is working. It was work, and it scared me. I almost hit the little table." I'm going, "Really?" So my grandson comes out and he tries it, and sure enough, suddenly he goes, "Whoa!" And you could hear it engage. Right? I said, "Well, what happened?" And my granddaughter says this. She says, "All it needed was a little energy." Yes, I mean, I will never forget it. Sure enough, we took it outside. You had to give it a little momentum and then engage, and it flew and it went. Okay? Really funny. But the main thing about that was, Grozy, it just needed a little energy. She's 5 years old. Okay? How does she understand the concept of energy and on how that energy came from her first doing this with her foot? Right? Yes? So to get some momentum. I was just, again, to most people, they probably wouldn't notice. But to me, for a 5-year-old to understand what momentum is, what energy, and apply it in the appropriate way, right? When it came to that, and where the energy comes from, right? First, to make a little machine go, was amazing to me. Unbelievably amazing. Yes? So, this sermon of this Mark Driscoll, how dare you, gave me that momentum again. Yes? That energy again, in a way that I felt dying down a little bit. Yes? Okay. Until the next book of Tobit. Whew, yes. Book of Judith. Why is this starting out like this? Again. Why not let's just go back into the book of Kings. Right, yes. Well, it needs this then to get to, okay, we'll see. Anyway, I was kind of hoping this would be a little bit more like Tobit's story, but well, I guess it's not. We're back to, yeah. Anywho, that's what I wanted to share to begin with. And we are in the book of Judith. So I'm very excited. Very excited. I wanted to share the sermon to my Facebook post, to my Facebook, to a group, this, that, and something didn't work out. I'm not sure why. And I said, okay, I got to there it is. I heard it. I'm fired up. I want to just go in and tell people some of them. And, okay, something's not working, which suddenly gave me that, okay, reflect before you react. Right? Yes, always. And when the time is right, I have no doubt that anything I'm going to want to do with this sermon will work. Yeah, see? Yeah. Okay. So just because something that you feel that's really good isn't working out right away, that means you need to first step back, reflect, and then get yourself together. Know exactly what you're going to do with what you just got. Information, or as I said, a good video that is worth watching over and over again. Yeah. That's listening to Spirit World right there. Yeah, obviously then I'm not always listening. Fired up. Yes. So sometimes someone else needs to put the brake on for me. Okay. That is that. Let's get going. Judith, book of Judith. 4. Judaea on the alert. Judaea. Is that Judea? Judaea. What the heck is that now? What's the difference between Judah and Judaea? Eh? When the Israelites living in Judea heard how Holofernes, general-in-chief of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, had treated the various nations, plundering their temples and destroying them, they were thoroughly alarmed at his approach and trembled for Jerusalem and the temple of the Lord their God. Oh, I remember saying, I think in 3, oh, he hasn't gone to, oh, that's interesting. All right, well, anyway. They had returned from captivity only a short time before, and the resettlement of the people. I know exactly. I have a feeling I know what's coming. Ooh. Why I had to see the sermon this morning. Ooh. You know what? The men aren't going to get away this time. All right. They had returned from captivity only a short time before, and the resettlement of the people in Judea and the reconsecration of the sacred furnishings of the altar and of the temple, which had been profaned, were of recent date. I wonder how Tobit knew that this was all going to happen. There must have been signs beforehand, right? Yes, and Tobit wasn't a dumb man. Oh. They therefore alerted the whole of Samaria, Kona, Beth Haran, Belmain, Jericho, Koba, Sora, and the Salem Valley. They occupied the summits of the highest mountains and fortified the villages on them, preparing for defense. They laid in supplies for the coming war, as the fields had just been harvested. Joachim, the high priest resident in Jerusalem at the time, wrote to the inhabitants of Bethulia and of Petomestaim, 2 towns facing Esdraelon, towards the plain of Dothan. He ordered them to occupy the mountain passes, the only means of access to Judea, for there it would be easy for them to halt an attacking force, the narrowness of the approach not allowing men to advance more than 2 abreast. Okay. Interesting. So they knew their territory. And there were mountains then, right? Yes, there had to be mountains. It wasn't just desert kind of stuff. I know that works because that's how Switzerland gained their freedom. That's how Switzerland retained their freedom. Okay, now you can just bomb everything from the air, right? Yes? So whatever. Mountains don't matter anymore. But at that time, so many, couple hundred years ago, more than that. Let's see, Switzerland is over 700, almost 800 years old now. Right? They would do exactly the same. They would, the mountain passes were occupied. They would defend, and again, you couldn't get any other way into Switzerland if you were on foot or on horse. And the Russian army tried, and they were starved out. The Suvorov Bridge, that's, yeah. And then there was another one. Who were they? Can't remember. Yeah, it was a long time ago when I studied all that. Well, anyway, so they could not occupy Switzerland. They could not get through to Switzerland or into Switzerland because Switzerland always had a good defense. No fighting needed. None. And it seems like that's exactly what's happening here, right? Yes? So what? There is a smart dude. And what was his name? Joachim, the high priest. Yes? Oh, wow. Okay, that's very smart. Right? Telling these 2 towns that's what you need to do. Right? Cool. And it will work. So did God have something to do with that? Well, it's a high priest, so he's seems like a smart one, not one of the dumber ones, but one that actually doesn't just care about himself. He's in Jerusalem. Okay. Cares about, how are we going to stop them from even getting here? Right? Yes? Yeah. Is that God guiding him? Maybe. Yeah. Oh, so God is involved in war system now. Well, when it comes to defense, I would say without trying to even engage in war, surely, right, the protection is there. Just depends on, again, how is this Joachim actually listening to God? Yes? I'm just saying. And where are the Israelites? That they are. Right? Where were they led to? Where they can defend themselves like that? Okay. Right. War's not needed in this world. It's only needed because men want it, not God. Nothing to do with God. And it's always both sides. No, don't give me that. Okay. The Israelites carried out the orders of Joachim the high priest and of the people's council of elders in session at Jerusalem. There you go. Teamwork makes the dream work. A nation at prayer. All the men of Israel cried most fervently to God and humbled themselves before him. They, their wives, their children, their cattle, all their resident aliens, hired or slave, wrapped sackcloth round their loins. All the Israelites in Jerusalem, including women and children, lay prostrate in front of the temple and with ashes on their heads stretched out their hands before the Lord. They draped the altar itself in sackcloth and firmly joined together in begging the God of Israel not to let their children be carried off, their wives distributed as booty, the towns of their heritage destroyed, the temple profaned, and desecrated for the heathen to gloat over. The Lord heard them and looked kindly on their distress. Okay. I'm not going to say a whole lot. How many times have they done that? Any time that they were in distress, suddenly, oh, God, come and help us out. Oh, okay, then. All right. Yeah, well, you can't fault them for trying, right? And then in the way they were trying, what if God would not have heard them? Then what? What if God would have said, okay, Joachim, you tell them, said, you know what? You got yourself into this mess, now get yourself out of it. Would they have continued to pray and say, you know what? Then fill us with wisdom to deal with this in the proper and appropriate manner, according to the covenant that we have with you. Right? Yes? Or would they, oh, he's not our God anymore. Woo, why did you even bother? Just asking. That's why I'm a little chuckling here. Right? Yes? The people fasted for many days throughout Judea, as well as in Jerusalem, before the sanctuary of the Lord Almighty. Now he's the Lord Almighty again. Okay. Joachim the high priest and all who stood before the Lord's priests and ministers, wore sackcloth round their loins as they offered the perpetual burnt offering and the votive and voluntary offerings of the people. With ashes on their turbans, they earnestly called on the Lord to look kindly on the house of Israel. Okay. Still nothing about Judith. That's the end of 4. Okay. Well, here we are. A people threatened. The one thing, okay. A people threatened. We know that by then, it sounds like, so they returned back from Nineveh. Okay, most of them had been in captivity. Most of the Israelites have now returned, right? Yes, they're back home. And the one thing it seems like is that they are staying constant. Yes. It doesn't say, oh, and then, it didn't take long and there were those high places again with all them other gods and I don't know what, right? Yeah, okay. So that doesn't seem to be, or at least it doesn't say anything. That does not seem to be happening. I also was wondering, and now is Judith again, and not a book that's before Tobit? Is that all before again with whatever? Right? No, it seems to be a succession of, where Tobit's already passed away, his wife has passed away, it seems like Tobias has moved wherever to his father-in-law, Raguel, And most of the people have returned to Jerusalem, so that must be afterwards. And it seems as if there are some people, yes, like Joachim the high priest, who are in place, who are keeping the people guided still under the umbrella of God. That's good. Yet now they're facing what again? Invasion again. Possible enslavement, being dragged off, the guys all killed again. I find it interesting. Seems like one of the first times where they're actually praying, please don't let them drag off our wives and children again. What did I listen to this morning? You got to go listen yourself so you know. And they are okay. Or are they using the wives and children as oh, Father, but our wives and children, are they more concerned about themselves really when it comes down to it? It says with an earnest heart. How earnest were their hearts? Well, I guess the future will tell us as we keep reading how earnest their hearts truly were. Or if it was just lip service. Lots of lip service going on out there when it comes to churches, their pastors, and their congregations. If not, with as many, billions now of Christians that there are in the world, there's one thing that should absolutely have been eradicated now. What would that be? Something that would not. With billions of Christians out there, all them churches everywhere. We got more than, now about 50 churches in the itty bitty little tiny county that I live in. With at least 3/4 of the people living there are going to a church. But I guarantee you that downloading porn, the abuse of women is well and alive in my little county. Cheating, both men and women, this, that, on each other. Children not taken properly care of. Drugs, well and alive. And don't get me wrong, I live in a wonderful little county. I see a lot of restoration going on there, but with as many Christians as there are living in that little county, still a lot of stuff going on. Yes, behind closed doors, of course. That shouldn't be going on anymore. Should be eradicated. Done with. And with as many billions of Christians out there now, all around the world, there's way too much of all of that crap still going on. Pornography, prostitution, child sexual abuse. I would say 8 out of 10 women at one point or another in their life were sexually abused by a man. 8 out of 10. Pretty darn sure that's true. That's horrific. And it's still going on. And of course, with some of the stuff out there now, that people are enabling others to, not even going to go into that. That was going to just make me absolutely upset. Or it gets me riled up. It'll be 10 out of 10 pretty soon. It won't take long if this doesn't stop. And yet there are these billions and billions of Christians out there. Interesting? Yeah. Just saying, right? How much of it is lip service? We're giving in church. This, that. Huh? Yes? I'm not against church. I think if I were to live actually in walking distance of a church, I would be going. If it's one that I, agree with or just saying. I would. There's quite a few in our county that I would love to go to. Yes? Yeah. But I don't drive anymore. And again, it's a long way to go. And I found if you cannot have church at home first. Why are you going to another church? Church should be at home first. I don't go to church to have an experience. I go to church because, again, that's energy. The energy from the people that are also there doing what? Listening to the Word of God. Having someone giving, right, a good lesson to keep us encouraged, to keep us on what? The straight and narrow, which is a beautiful way to go, guys. I can't, again, when you go and walk in the woods, what do you prefer? Going through briars and thickets and this and that, where you have to, you're getting scratched up, this and that, or have a nice deer path. Don't even have to forge it yourself. Deer paths, they call them. Walk through a deer path. Nice, straight and narrow. But you don't get scratched up. You can see the ground, so you don't step on a snake, for example. You can see what's ahead. Right? Don't really have to worry what might come at you. For example, walking through the thickets, this and that, stepping on a hornet's nest or a bee's nest. I'm just saying. How happened? Never to me. I'm a little more careful now, even when I walk plenty times through the thicket, this and that. Right? But I prefer the path. But I'm a gatherer. So a gatherer like me, a teacher like me, sometimes walks through the thicket. A spiritual teacher has to walk through the thicket to get to the ones lost. Yes? Okay. But wouldn't you prefer the deer path? In your life of faith, straight and narrow, got the 10 Commandments, the Lord's Prayer, the family pledge, straight and narrow, regardless what anybody else is doing out there. Why would you want to join them for no other better reason than to just follow others in their thickness, in the thicket of thorns and pain and scratches and being deceived and I don't know what else. You see, that's kind of a little example. Why? Suddenly getting derailed. That's another. Train. The best thing for a train is to stay on a track. What happens when a train, full speed ahead, jumps off the track? What happens? Yeah, just saying. So here are, so is the high priest Joachim keeping the people on the straight and narrow. Right? And everybody joins in the prayers. Father, please help us. We're about to be attacked by a really horrific guy with a horrific army. Now, did the high priest and the elders just, you know what? The best thing is we just lay ourselves into the hands of God and we're going to be fine. Did they do that? Or did they do their own part as well? Yes. The high priest Joachim sent letters to these 2 border towns and said, this is what you do. This is what we're going to do to begin with. Right? Yes? That's good. Then we're going to continue. We're going to do the next thing. So there's physical, spiritual unity going on. I can't deny that. Again, though, were they true this time? I would not be saying this if I would have seen constancy and the narrow path that the covenant with God had given the Israelites. But the Israelites went all over the place, into the thickets, right? Yes? Here now, is it happening? Is it actually happening? And again, does it have to happen again through another disaster that may or may not befall them now? people, I'm going to finish up with this just because it came to my mind before. It's coming to my mind now. In a way, we're often told, well, you have to, life's not all just roses and this and that, it's thorns and I don't know what, and you instead of just fulfilling your own dreams, which is, if it's on the side of goodness, right, there's nothing wrong with that, and you take responsibility for all and everything that you create, just like a child, okay, then and that's all included then in your dreams. Yes, sometimes dreams have to be dropped after. Yeah, okay. Oh, do they have to be dropped? I don't know. I guess one makes certain decisions then where certain dreams just don't belong anymore. Just saying. All I can tell you is in my life, yeah, okay, that every dream I've ever had, in a way, sometimes in a little different form, but still has been fulfilled. It came to be. And in a way, in the same way that, okay, it's happening here in Judith 4, I made the preps. I was the willing one for something. For example, coming here, taking care of my grandchildren, which I love doing. I also had another dream. I wanted to have just a small space to myself, just to myself. I've never had a space just to myself where I could be and create it just the way that I would love to have it. Never. It was always with other people around, including other people, of course, my family, this and that, right? Yes. And making this commitment to help out my children, with the grandchildren, probably for years now, has fulfilled another little dream of mine. My children made it possible. Yes, I love it. It's just one of those. And I could have done with a lot less than what I got. A lot less. And I got a fabulous little tiny place. I'm so humbled by that, I can tell you. It also tells me that I am on that straight and narrow. Anyway, yes, I could tell you about all of my other dreams that I had in many different forms and ways. I've always been, right? That one after another just happened. Yes. In my individual life now. Right? Yes. Okay. What about, right? Yes. I've always wanted a child that had red hair. I love redheads. I think red hair is, I've said this before, an amazing thing to me. I love it. It's beautiful. And the people usually with red hair, beautiful, beautiful people. All right. Or they're blondes and it's, oh no, I'm just saying. There was just something about people with red hair. I just love. I love that. I'd love to have a child with red hair. That's one of my dreams, to have a child with red hair. I didn't get one with red hair. But guess what? I got a grandchild now with red hair. Isn't that something? I'm just saying. Right? Oh my gosh. I have to say that with, I'm going to be 60 this year. In a few months, I'll be 60. My whole life, with everything in it, I look back on it and I could cry. I'm starting to cry for thankfulness and gratefulness. And I don't know how people do it in their life without God in their life, without Jesus by their side. I don't know. I have no idea how that works. I think one of the greatest things that an individual, a person, a man or a woman, once you are an adult, you've got walked through life for a while, if you have learned to value yourself, because you've done good things of value for others, especially when you learn to value yourself in the way that our Heavenly Parent values us as children, you have become successful in life. That's success, in my opinion, in life. And I absolutely feel my own value on earth here. And I can already see my value in spirit world once I pass away. Yes. And I also feel very valued by the people around me. Very much. That's the greatest gift you can give yourself, and the greatest gift you can give someone out there. Oh, so you have to be perfect? No. There are people out there in the world. Yes. I have one brother in faith, Eldridge. Yeah. My sister in faith, Nancy. Okay. Two that I'm very close when it comes to faith, this and that. And like to mention as friends, just not that there's way more. These are two. I've seen their work. The friendship we have developed through our relationship with our Heavenly Parent, especially. I value those two people in my life very much. And I value them because I know I've seen how they try. Truly try. And work through their own life in the way they have walked that life. And also in the way that I've gained insight into some things that were new to me. And I got to see and was shown to me by both of them. Yes? Anyway, so I guess I would say that I value the people in my life that I truly value are the ones who are teaching me as well. Teaching me about the goodness of Heavenly Parent. Teaching me, showing me paths that some people have to take, are taking. The resistance, the resilience and resistance, right, that they have. Resilience towards, I'm walking through this. I'm going to make it through this one way or another. Right? And the resistance to give up. Their faith, their belief is truly there. I can look up to that. And that's what I value in people. It's not a faultless, mistakeless life where nothing ever happens that, one has to take responsibility for this and that. It's one where one does not give up to walk on the side of goodness, doing the right thing. Yes? And receive the praise and eat that humble pie when you need to as well. All right, there. So, if you haven't done that yet, start to learn to value yourself. What is it going to take where you feel value, right? Not from others, You yourself first have to value yourself. Yes? One thing, when you have, a parent will always love their children, regardless if they're good or bad. It's always, I mean, okay, I don't know. Not every parent out there. But a true parent, that's just how it is. Yes? But being valued as well by our Heavenly Parent, that's an amazing thing. How do I know? How do I know that Heavenly Parent values me? How do I know that? Because I also told this a long time ago, right? What? Video 100 and something? I don't know. Where I told the story was at the sink washing dishes. And, me always having conversations in my mind with Spirit World, with Heavenly Father, God, Heavenly Parent, Parental God, the Creator, the Artist. We talk about all kinds of things. Yes? Yep. And suddenly, I think, if I remember correctly, have I become a daughter to you yet? And I got this, you are a true daughter to me. A true daughter. Which now told me I'm valued. I have gained value in my Heavenly Parent's eyes. It was, again, besides meeting true parents and having been in the same room with true parents, that was probably one of the most profound experiences that I've ever had with God. Oh, not an angel, not some prophet out there, not a saint, not some other spirit. No, with God. I can say that 100%. You are a true daughter. Came directly from I am who I am. I'm going to finish with this. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you and embrace you with love. And I will talk to you all another time.